Let's see, where you are. All right, that's there, that is all up. All right, good morning, everybody. Now we're about it, I guess. I'm gonna go grab something real quick. Select. All right, I think we're all set up. Let's see if Twitch is still being a problem. I don't know what is up with Twitch. Like, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. I give up on it. Let's see if anyone jumps in the chat. Snowing today, huh? It was snowing here last night. Okay, we got a couple inches, well, probably like an inch of snow last night here. So not a ton, of course I'm down in Virginia where we don't get that much snow as it is, but it felt good to get the. It was funny because there was also a student show, so I was wondering if they were gonna put the opening on hold or not last night, but they didn't, so that's good, I guess. Yeah, so just gonna try and bring this to a close. Her face is still a little too pale in the light compared to other parts. And then I want to kind of bring down the oranginess of the overall light stuff in there. So I've got some good references up. So, and then I've been saying I've been having a much better time painting this ever since I found this high flow medium in my paint bucket. It's like, oh, I have this medium here that will make my life easier. And so. And I just figured out a better angle on my light. So, it's been a good morning so far. So all good to hopefully bring this to a close today. And it was just a study that just got way out of hand. But yeah, and then today I got to shoot and reference. I think I'm going to start with one of the covers, like the simpler one. and maybe the reference for some of the pages I started while I'm dressed up in so that should be a good weekend stuff. I was gonna shoot it last night, and then I got back from the show and I was just out of it. So uh, so oh yeah. I gotta maybe there's your comic right there, right? There's your big opportunity. Get that reference and base it all around that. Uh, there we go. Yeah, I saw these shots of the I think it's the Kyoto airport from like the 70s or something. That look pretty cool. I like that whole tape aesthetic. Um, yeah, it's important, I think, to like look around and take advantage of things around you. It's like, I think about Kirkman and Walking Dead and even Invincible and other things he's done, where it kind of really seems like he's just like looking around his neighborhood and turning that into a comic book. Just using the local setting to make it feel believable because it's something he's familiar with, and there, and there. Now, as I was revising some of the shot angles and things. It's taking up some time. I might try doing my roughs digitally next time, for the next issue, just to see what that's like. And whip out the good old Infinite Painter and do that, because it's got some handy things in there for comic stuff, like it's got like a panel brush, just draws like even straight lines. All right. Let's see. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning over there. Am I Russian? I live in the United States. I do speak Russian, but I was born and raised in the USA. Someone's asking if I am Russian. Я не русский, чистый американец. Почти без акцента. Как-то сомневаюсь насчет этого. Я одна четверть литовца. Фамилия Сакевич когда-то была Сакевичус. Значит, это уже давно. Interesting. I guess ethnic stuff like that is more important inside of Russia. Like regional ethnicity doesn't really matter as much in the USA per se. There are places where people from different places did settle, but huh. Oh yeah, it's nothing I worry about. I don't know. But that's where my family is from. 1/4 of them. Um, Other parts, I have family that goes back to the first pilgrims from England coming to the United States on my mother's side. Uh, some German stuff in there too, I'm sure, from my mother's grandparents' side. So Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not Russian though, sadly. It's Zelenyu. I mean, Lithuanians. They were the last, I think, European country to join Christianity, Catholicism anyway. They were I think, the only country to join the Catholic Church after a certain point uh, voluntarily. They beat back the Teutonic Knights. He used to have a giant empire a long time ago. Back under Vytautas, I think. Vytautas Didysis. Vytautas the Great. From Lithuania down to the Black Sea. Hello. A lot of activity over on Kick today. Oh, hello over there on YouTube. I can see you there. Yoi. Okay, I'm trying to bring this mostly to a finish today if I can. I'll do a little push this morning. A happy Saturday, right? Счастливой субботы. But Jurgi Šnaku lietuviškai. Siu Siktong Chunmara. Yaukai Si Guangdongwa. Siktong Putangwa. Hmm. So I can't really see what you're seeing over there. I don't know what that means. Sounds like it's probably something annoying and hateful. So. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what that is, so I guess whatever, right? Let's see. Am I from Alaska? No, I live in Virginia. I guess the SAR back then shouldn't have sold it off, right? Seems like a pretty good deal for us in the United States. Lots of oil and mining, all that going on up there. So I guess our benefit. Do I respect the Alhut? I don't know what that is. I mean, like the Inuit, the Eskimos. He's some kind of a Zhirinovsky fan. That guy always sounded really silly to me. But, you know. It is nice this is coming together, though, so I'm happy about that. Do I ever feel the Russian spirit in me? Well, I'm not Russian, so, you know, I guess I probably wouldn't. You know, I enjoyed learning Russian in school a long time ago. I like, you know, Russian authors and painters from before the Soviet time period, and musicians. That stuff's all pretty good stuff. But yeah, sadly, yeah, not Russian. But Virginia's a nice state, fairly temperate climate. Like we got a little bit of snow last night, but not a lot compared to other places I've lived. I don't know. Does Russia make anything now that people want? Besides oil? Is there a modern weapon? Is there looks like hoodwink, huh? Oh, it looked like that guy disappeared, whatever he was doing. And, he got all of his chats deleted. Interesting. Some sort of a nationalist having a good time on the internet. You have a cool dog, though. Whatever that may count for. What time is it? 8:30? Yeah, okay. Not too bad. Got lots of time. More than 70%, huh? That sounds like a lot. Almost sounds like that's a made-up number. um, What's funny is the map of Russia makes it look really big, but it's not quite that big compared to like this the width. I think Africa is wider than Russia, but the naval map that we use most of the time makes Russia look a lot larger than it actually is, which I thought was interesting. What can you take from Europe? Well, they've got a lot of culture, right? A lot of yeah, the EU has its own set of problems for sure, but Europe, you know, Russia definitely wants to do business with them, so to sell them oil. Hello, over there and kick a lot of kick activity today. That's interesting. Guess there's not a lot of art streams over there, but yeah. Um, well, I mean, America was discovered um, before Shakespeare was born, quite a while before. It's fine. But the problem, you know, Russia is they were disconnected from most of Europe until Peter the Great, and so it really limited their um, cultural and technological development until he showed up to kind of force it on everybody. I am Well, I mean, I have a Discord, but it's just for my students and other ones that I've joined. So there's not like a Discord out there. At least not yet. So yes, a second. All right. Here. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of advantages for the United States being a younger country, right? Lots of variations in the immigration, which brings a lot of talent and fresh ideas. Um, there's certain advantages to that for sure, compared to other older countries like they have in most of Europe, Russia, etc. I thought about making one though. I have a teaching site, and I did make one for it, but I haven't done anything with it. I have some tiers for subscriptions on my site that allow access to different areas on it, and that way I can do that. But I haven't gotten into that. I've been working on some other things lately, so once I can come up for air, get some other things underway and done, and then that will make it a lot easier for me. Let's see. Yeah, I need to go back over her face anyway. It's too light. It's actually probably a Russian girl, but I'm in this kind of refinement phase. So I generally like to work kind of back to front. So that's more to the front, and so that's on the list for things to fix up today. Oh, Bosch, you want your bed? Yeah, all right, there you go. My dog's bed had moved to an inconvenient location under my feet, so he was letting me know I needed to move it back. Come lay down. And this whole project here is actually a bit of an experiment for me. I've kind of avoided acrylic paint for like 20 years, basically. I've taught it once before, and then last semester at my university. And in the process of teaching, I was like, oh, maybe I can make this work for me. So I just have avoided it for so long. Um, I use this, I think it's Graphit. They make a bunch of reference packs and things you can buy on Gumroad or ArtStation, other places. And they've got it kind of set up there. And let's see. So yeah, I was kind of avoided because I didn't like it as a student very much. And it could just be I wasn't using the wrong mediums, or a lot of it I think was I just didn't know how to paint back then. I didn't understand color and lighting and all of that. And so in the process of the class I did last semester, I was like, yeah, maybe I can make this work for me. And so I did that. Finished a painting in there for my students that I did a demo of, and pretty happy with this. So I was like, well, maybe I could make this kind of work for me if I just so yeah, focusing on this area down here first. So first is that, and then other considerations later on. How long have I been on? Almost an hour. Okay, not long. Yeah, so we're going to refine things. I was looking at a bunch of acrylic painters like Michael Whalen and among others. Let's see, let's zoom in on her face. I don't think they'll forgive you for segregation. I don't know. Did the serfs forgive the Russian government for serfdom? I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody really cares about that now. Let's see. I'm just gonna get rid of this guy. Yeah, he's just kind of annoying. It's, just keeps trying to be a bother, so he's gone. I'm just obsessed with being annoying, and I don't mind discussing, difficult subjects, but there's a point where it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's like I don't mind, there's interesting things happening out in the world and all that, but he's just not. He's not. Whoever that wasn't interested in actually discussing anything. Just being kind of silly and provocative, and yeah, the bot for Kick kept deleting his posts. And I'm actually trying to focus a bit so I can knock this thing out of the, get this thing done, move on to something else. So. Well, yeah, there's always somebody, right, who feels like they're being clever. And, sometimes that might be me, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm being super smart about something, and I could be dead wrong. So, but yeah, it's just that's the internet, right? People being a bother to each other for, I guess, some kind of point. Gets them all excited about something. But, you know, I don't know who it benefits really, other than like making somebody feel like they're being clever. Did I go to art school? Yes. So, and I teach art school. So, I went to, I did an illustration BFA at Brigham Young University. And then a MFA in painting at New York Academy of Art. And I've also studied with painters. And then I've been teaching art for over 20 years. Well, it started 20 odd years ago. So, so again, this is the acrylic painting here. Like I'm like, oh, you know, last semester I was teaching this class and I had to use acrylic. I was like, yeah, I hate acrylic paint. And then as I'm working on it, you know, it got better during that semester I was teaching it. I was like, well, maybe I can make it work for me. And, so I wanted to do some more of these for myself. And so that's really what this is for. I should probably take the orange out. So, yeah, originally I wasn't going to take this far. I was going to do like a quick study of the figure, and then kind of just, you know, do a bunch of. This is in my sketchbook. Like this is just on like a Bristol board type sketchbook. Get my dog his blanket while I'm off the chair. My dog is all about blankets. Huh. Extra comfort. He's under my desk. So I'm kind of going through now and refining it, but I've been live streaming the whole process. This song is god awful. So yeah, so you know, I've just kind of avoided for a long time. I like oils, I like wash, I like watercolor. You know, I've done the digital stuff for a long time, of course. But I did a painting last semester as a demo. Well, a couple paintings. One is not finished. I'm actually probably going to jump back into that one once this is done. Try to finish that one off. But I was like, oh, maybe I can get this to work for me. See, it's not, you know, I think I still prefer the other mediums, at least for now. But oh, you were from Russia too? But you're not a nationalist like our recent friend here? Um, but a lot of Russians on Kick. This is really small too. That's kind of the problem. Not a huge problem, but so like it has compositional problems. Like the hand on the top is going off the page, which I wouldn't normally do. But I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do like a put close on a reference source from reference, other reference, and then just call that a day. And then I was like, well, I started sketching in the background, and I kind of just got out of hand. Appreciate that. Over there on Instagram. Sadly, Instagram can't see the whole chat. So. He's not your friend, huh? So I could use some Russian music recommendations. So I've been listening to a bunch of Sirotkin and is it Grechka? I was listening. I thought that was okay. And then is it Halina or something like that? Seemed okay. I used to listen to like a lot of Linda way back. Whoa, don't fall down. Fuck it. I paint boxes almost. I was getting ready to jump off the table. Started to move. Alright, it wants to close, so we're going to just let it sit like that. Just stand up here. Like I've got a small number of like Lithuanian singers that I like. Yeah, but finding this high flow medium has made like a big difference. It's got to be some kind of restoration of trade with Russia because I saw that Kalinsky sable brushes, which I wouldn't use with acrylic, but Kalinsky sable brushes have like dropped in price by quite a bit. And oh, okay, yeah, I like the Russian alternative rock music. It was hard to find a lot of it just because a lot of the Russian music, at least when I first came across it, was like Euro trash, electronic nonsense. There's probably good stuff with that, but all of it just kind of sounds the same to me. But I like Linda quite a bit. And I'm trying to remember who else I was listening to. Sredi Ruskik. Um, Agatha Christie. I'll have to check that out. Like Pisatil? Satilio? Here's my spray bottle. Well, it's interesting. Every kind of paint has its own kind of unique working properties, and acrylics, and they're both, there's always like drawbacks and advantages to each kind. An acrylic dries fast, which can be really helpful, but also means your palette ends up needing to be replaced more often, especially if you're painting more than an hour or two. Be able to improve it a little bit, but still I've got some retarder medium in a spray bottle that I spray on from time to time. Seems to help, but but it's still not perfect. Let's see this red in here, just to distribute around. I don't like this line here. I think I need to push that out a little bit to break that line. I saw that line was happening. I'm like, oh no. Put that line there. I did. Knock that back a little bit. Creates a kind of tangent. And definitely don't want any of those. Let's see. But it would be nice to visit Russia again. It's been a long time. But I guess the current political climate makes that impossible. So, I mean, I guess I could theoretically go there indirectly from other places, but it's like, visiting Cuba or something like that, right? So I can't fly directly to Cuba from the United States, but I think I don't have a lot of interest in Cuba, so in Cuba. So one of my colleagues is from there. Came over in the 90s sometime. United States from Cuba. They were letting in a lot of refugees. There was a lot of kind of these boat refugees coming over from Cuba back then, and a lot of people dying in the ocean actually from those traversals. But this guy, I think he just flew over. There was like an amnesty period or something that let a bunch of them in. It's interesting talking to him because he's like, he's still a communist, which is weird. Like everyone taught because it's just what they love doing, but like he's pursued it as a job. So what's that say about you? Yeah, right. Especially right now. Um, but it's like it's always better to have nice positive trade than war, if possible. It's like where goods cross borders, soldiers do not, as the saying goes. It's like with the Russia-Ukraine thing. Did Russia have sufficient cause to invade Ukraine? Probably not, but it had, I think, more cause than the United States has had to invade other countries. So there's that, like other half of the equation. Like if Russia had been doing that in Mexico or Canada, the United States would have invaded a long time ago. Long, long time ago. Maybe right away. Um, yeah, I work at a university in Virginia. I've taught in universities for a very, very long time now, and definitely having a good time. So, um, yeah, so I've always worked, well, mostly worked in the United States. I did live in Hong Kong for a few years, but that was a long time ago now. Everything's turning into a long time ago. So, um, but I've also, I've worked with art galleries. I've worked on video games, illustration, a bunch of things over the years. So I've tried a great variety of things. Um, 3D modulation, like 3D modeling. I mean, I know how to do 3D modeling for sure. You know, you can see like my illustration work on my website, rainlandstudios.com, which is funny. That's the direct translation of Lithuania into English is actually Rainland. Lietuva. Lietus is rain. They don't think about that there, but Americans tend to think it means like rock because of lith, and so like lithograph and lithography and megaliths. It's all like rock-based words. But no, it means rain. It's also funny because they're the Lithuanians have a hard time saying the TH sound. So it's kind of funny that we gave them a name in English that's very difficult to say, that has sounds in it they don't make in Lithuanian. I think it comes from like Lituani or something like that, which I think was like a Polish name for the country on a map or something like that, or a Prussian, German translation or something like that. But, oh well. Lithuanians have funny names for other countries too. So, but I definitely I like 3D. I'm not a big fan of like tracing 3D work for doing stuff. I think it can feel really, really stiff and flat. So I'd rather draw it. But I've done like 3D renderings and 3D sculpts and things like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that. People like making 3D kits or whatever. There's a lot of like YouTubers that make like kit bash models and things. I actually have an airbrush over here. I'm not gonna. I used it a little bit on this project at the very beginning, but I'm gonna leave off. I was gonna maybe add it into the background, but I don't think it'll really add anything helpful in there. I don't have that much experience. Airbrush is another thing I picked up recently. I bought it 1 year ago and then finally used it recently. So I wanted it for like spraying splatter and tone onto ink projects. All right, I think we can go work on her face a little bit. I think I just need to bring the jaw up a little bit in here. So I think if you look at a reference, like it doesn't go like this. It goes more like that. And then the jaw comes down like that. And it goes up. Yeah, I've seen people do that. Like, there's a lot of Japanese artists that do that kind of thing. I've seen some that even has like a vacuum former. Those are expensive. I looked them up. They're like a couple $1,000s. Um, but I guess if you're really committed to your hobby, they're worth having. So you like, craft like a rounded shape and then use that to wrap plastic on. Bring that in just a little bit more. Well, appreciate you coming in. Don't hesitate to pop in, say something. I'm just working on this morning, and I've been doing the whole thing on live stream, so I thought I would, use the opportunity to keep going with it. I have a lot of students who are interested in tattooing. It's not that I know anything about. I've never given it really any thought. I have friends that have done it, that do it, um, but it's never been of a special, particular interest to me. No problem with it. Just never really given it much thought. There's a lot of art stuff like that, though, right? Where you know about it, but you don't really think about it that much. It's like animation. Like I like animation. It's fine. I don't want to do animation. Period. If I can avoid it. Sudachi. Sudachi. Yeah, sadly, I don't get a lot of opportunity to practice my Russian in the United States. Hello. Labus. Galboot. I don't know, I think I'm like 10, 12 hours into this or something, 13 hours, something like that. I've been working on this for the last, I guess, couple of weeks. It was really just supposed to be a sketch thing, and then I decided to finish it, so it's kind of gotten out of hand a little bit. But almost done, I think. Face is still too bright, I think. Bring it down. Value. Without destroying it. Tweak the color at the same time. That's a little better. Trying to avoid losing my drawing. Trying to dry brush a little bit over some of these areas to just push it back a little bit. So it matches these other areas a little better. It's a little too cold. Add some of this warmth into the shadows. So, but yeah, you can watch the past live streams I've done recently with it. They're all still up on Instagram and YouTube. So definitely out there. Just soften that jaw a little bit more. A lot of times the refinement of a picture can take as long or longer than like getting to that point of refinement. And so it's definitely some work. To get here. Is that face looking? That up a little bit. Oh, it matches better down here. Get some lighter pinkish highlights in there. Push down. That's the problem with faces here, is just really, really small. That part's always really intense. How's Bosch doing down there, huh? I got my dog under my feet. So, but yeah, so it's been, probably would take, a couple days to really do this if I were doing this on my own from start to finish. But I kind of didn't plan to actually do this, so um, it's not very big, right? So you can see my hand here, like it's slightly larger than my hand. So it's a pretty small picture. I want to do kind of a blitz on it today, see how far I could get. Until I kind of run out of things to look at on here to consider. And hopefully bring it to finish soon, right? don't know if that satisfied the question or not, but that's how long. It's a little dark in there, I think, for what we've got going on. It's better for those heavy darks on there. Good morning. Soften those edges up, right? That is always an important step. How is this Russian? There. Nothing there. Stick this shadow under there. Don't like remixes, period. Sure. I hate these people like at me on Discord. I feel like that's a scam going on. This is terrible. Let's see. All right. Good morning, everybody. Coming in 9:30. All right. This sounds nice. Really hate the bots. Curiosity. Okay. Let's see. The question is, what should I update on here? Or am I done? I don't know. Oof. Trying to knock out these final details. Hopefully, finish this today. I was going to chop it off, and then I remembered on the other side is like a whole bunch of drawings, so oops. Something to think about later, I guess. Let's see. I'm going to come up here, clean that up a little bit. Like a little dark mark right there. Alright, what do you think? Almost there? My full mediums are on a little. Hello. I guess the edge can stay soft. Huh? Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Trying to push through to hopefully finish this today. Good morning. Hello. Good morning over there. Okay. Just trying to more or less, if I can't finish this off. This morning, maybe some touch-ups later on or something, but trying to effectively polish this thing off. Finally. I think we're pretty close. Ah. Let's see, interesting there. All right. Hmm. Good morning. 10 o'clock, huh? All right. Good morning. Alright, I'm going to knock those things back just a little bit. A little opacity in them. So they sit back a little bit more. That helps, I think. Just a little bit of scumbling over the 10:12, huh? Might be a good spot to stop for today. Been on for 2.5 hours, which is kind of a long time for me. Think about if I want to do anything more with this, or if we're going to pretty much call it done, or tweak it a little bit later or something. But there's definitely other things to do. So thanks everybody that came in. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all later.